Finally, they have shown us the first trailer for the final season of The Boys. The expectations were more than justified because it turned out to be impressive, left many questions, but at the same time revealed some plot details. Who is Homelander beating so long and hard? What role did Jared Padalecki get? And how will Butcher's storyline end? We will talk about all this in detail in the next few minutes. The other day, Comic-Con concluded in Brazil, on the eve of which the first posters were presented, and during the event itself, a full trailer. So let's start in order from smallest to largest because there is plenty to discuss. The official promotional materials unequivocally hint that Homelander is a kind of harbinger of the apocalypse, and we are in for destructive events that will unfold in the final episodes. The posters promise a final showdown between the main characters of The Boys, who have been feuding with each other since the first season. Butcher stands next to the destroyed Vought Tower, with a crowbar in his hand while Homelander looks at the erupting explosions from space. And while everything is clear with the leader of the Seven, and the poster depicted his destructive power, the poster with the leader of The Boys left a significant hidden meaning for the fans. A hidden meaning, not a hint at what the finale will be. The fact is that in the comics, the crowbar was used as the final point that ended Homelander's victorious march. But this was after he was mortally wounded by his even more evil clone who was hiding under the mask of Noir. In the series, as we know, the storyline was completely changed, and the Black Noir was killed, and his place was taken by another superhero. Therefore, a repetition of the finale from the comic is objectively impossible, which means the crowbar is nothing more than a reference. Although, in any case, it can be used for other purposes. Also at Comic-Con, the official brief description of the series' conclusion was presented. It states that in the fifth and final season, the world is completely subordinate to the eccentric and selfish whims of Homelander. Some of the boys are still imprisoned in Camp Freedom. Annie is trying her best to resist the superior force of the superheroes, and Kimiko is nowhere to be seen. Butcher reappears to use a virus that will wipe all superheroes off the face of the earth and set off a chain of events that will change the world forever. As you can understand, the creators themselves are saying that something incredible awaits us. During the panel discussion at the event, Karl Urban revealed that the fifth season will not waste time preparing for the final part, and deaths will begin in the very first episode. He also noted that many viewers will be shocked by which characters end up dying and how it happens. In addition, Urban made it clear that the actors from Gen V play important roles in the plot, but did not specify which ones. As for the trailer, it sparked a heated discussion online and gave some answers to their main questions. For example, many now believe that the series will adapt Butcher's bleak ending taken directly from the comic. Billy gathers the boys for one last battle, although at the end of the fourth season, the group had to split up. He utters an important phrase that hints at what the finale will be for him personally. The conflict between the boys and the Seven has escalated into a full-scale war. Bodies are scattered across the streets of the United States, and some of the heroes are thinking about surrendering. But Billy convinced them otherwise with an inspiring speech about the importance of continuing the fight against evil. It should be noted that he says he will go to the end at any cost, which means he will do everything possible to win regardless of who has to die for it. This means that the series will partially preserve the ending from the comics, but only partially because we have already talked about the clone story and its adaptation is not possible. In the original comic, Butcher is so obsessed with the idea of stopping the superheroes that he is willing to commit genocide, becoming the main villain in the story. Therefore, the phrase from the trailer about him being ready to go to the end at any cost foreshadows a repetition of the storyline and the deaths of characters. But in any case, the series finale will be different from the one in the comics. From the very beginning, the project has significantly deviated from the source material and is a prime example of an adaptation that is greatly improved compared to the original. Therefore, even though Billy is ready to commit genocide, we will see a different version of the finale. Of course, the appearance of Jared Padalecki has generated huge interest among fans from the very moment it was announced. A reunion of the supernatural actors has been awaited ever since Jensen Ackles debuted as Soldier Boy in the third season. The idea of reuniting these two in another impressive series has become one of the main advantages of the final season of The Boys. In addition to concluding its own plot, the trailer gave us our first look at Padalecki in a completely new role. The main question now is who exactly he is playing, although the answer is ambiguous for now. Jared's role in the fifth season is one of the project's most closely guarded secrets. In turn, this secrecy only fuels the interest in the final season. His participation has been major news for several months, but the brief shot of him in the trailer has once again sparked discussions on this topic. The studio and the project's showrunner, Eric Kripke, refused to disclose details. At the same time, many convincing theories have already emerged. Back in August, Padalecki let it slip that his character would be very happy to meet Soldier Boy. This practically confirms a direct connection to Jensen Ackles' character. Nevertheless, this phrase seems intentionally vague, not making it clear whether this is due to admiration rivalry or something more sinister. The actor also confirmed that he will appear in the 5th episode of the final season, so we will not be celebrating the reunion from the very beginning. His interaction with Ackles and the inevitable interest surrounding his appearance suggests that Eric Kripke has found a role for him that could have a shocking impact on the plot. The fact that the crew and actors are carefully hiding his character suggests that this reveal is being positioned as one of the season's key moments. Therefore, it is almost impossible to determine exactly who Padalecki is playing, as there are no clues even in the source material. After all, the comic book counterpart to Soldier Boy has virtually nothing in common with the brutal and unstable hero from the series. But the fact that Padalecki, judging by the trailer, appears in the White House tells us that he will definitely be on Homelander's side. Let's also not forget that Misha Collins has also joined the cast of the 5th season, although his role is being kept in even greater secrecy than Padalecki's. Needless to say, he didn't even appear in the trailer, which means the introduction of his character is being saved for an even bigger announcement. In any case, The Boys will now become an important event for all Supernatural fans. Now, as they say, let's get to the most interesting part of what Homelander has in store for us. The leader of the Seven, in his signature style, is diligently striking someone's head. The identity of the victim remains off-screen. However, there are not that many options for who it could be. Homelander could kill any ordinary person with a single punch to the face. So whoever he is hitting in the trailer, he is hitting them again and again. This means it is either a superhero who needs at least a few blows to be defeated, or it is a character he hates so much that he continues to beat them long after they are already dead. But the latter seems unlikely because blood is not splattering everywhere. Most are inclined to believe that Homelander's opponent in this scene is about as strong as he is. This in turn narrows down the range of possible options. We know that he has a serious dislike for his biological father, who is Soldier Boy, so much so that he is willing to kill him. However, firstly, he would not have had to unfreeze him for revenge, and secondly, in one of the shots they are standing together in the same room. The second version is more likely because the series has been leading us to a climactic confrontation with Butcher from the very beginning. Before Billy got powers, Homelander could have easily killed him, but kept him alive because he enjoyed having a rival around and enjoyed the confrontation with a man who was not afraid of him. However, now that Butcher has powers, the odds have evened out a bit. It seems inevitable that these two will meet in the 5th season. But the question is under what circumstances this will happen. The scene where Homelander is beating someone off screen could have been taken from this decisive battle, but Billy is unlikely to be a punching bag. It could also be A-Train, who rebelled against the Seven and joined the Resistance. He would definitely have angered his former colleague and looks like the most suitable candidate for a shocking death in the first episodes. But that is not all, because a small part of the community believes that Homelander is beating Ryan in the scene, which is why he seems to be contemplating each blow before deciding whether he has had enough or not. There is also a slight hint of remorse in his eyes. And as we know, few are capable of evoking any emotions in Homelander. Ryan is the only character for whom the leader of the Seven has a soft spot. At the same time, he is determined to raise his son as a miniature copy of himself. So far, he has managed to exploit Ryan's teenage anxieties, but now that his son knows what Homelander did to his mother, he could very well lash out at him, but also receive some fatherly blows. In any case, the trailer has once again proven how anticipated and loved The Boys are. Gen V, although it tries to follow the same formula, is a completely different series. Fortunately, it is not long until the return of Billy and the Boys, because the premiere of the final season will be on April 8th, 2026. The first 2 episodes will be released simultaneously. Subsequent episodes will be released weekly until May 20th. In the meantime, be sure to share your impressions of the trailer. And who do you think Jared Padalecki will end up playing? That's all for today, friends. See you in new videos very soon.